come within the same goal. If I'm trying to make a bigger chest or bigger legs, still come with that same goal, but maybe pick a movement that is a lot like bench press to do first, or how would you go about that?
Like again, there's 100 different things you could do. You could say, well, I can do dumbbell bench press first today instead of bar.
Mm-hmm.
I can do a decline movement first today instead of a flat. I can do isolation exercises and superset them with compound movements potentially.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the tempo of a lift, the speed up and down on the bar.
Right.
That way you're at least getting yourself out of that groove that you're accustomed to.
Sure.
You're changing the stress in some form or fashion. So, there's so many variables that you can change.
Sure.
The hand position.
Yeah.
The speed of the rep, the tempo again.
Mm-hmm.
The angle that we talked about the angles last week some.
Last week, yeah.
We can go on and on.
Well, and even using machines that aren't necessarily intended for something.
Using machines, and we really haven't gone into that. But when you're trying to build muscle, I don't really feel like there is you use what works. You use everything at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
If it works for you, you keep it in your routine. If you're trying to build muscle, so basically, if a machine is able to target a muscle better than a free weight movement, use it in your routine. It's in your tool bag.
Right.
I actually would argue that a lot of machines are almost more effective at building muscle, in a sense, because you don't have to have as much stabilizing muscle involved.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So sometimes it's easier to say, I'm just working on my triceps here today, and sometimes you can keep the front delts or whatever out of it just due to the way the machine's designed. It only has one pathway. You don't have to balance it and move it through a certain range of motion.
Sure.
And so don't get caught up in machines versus free weights. When you and I train, we use them all.
Yeah, we use everything, yeah. Well, yeah, and kind of what I had in mind is there's times where we'll use bench press machines to do trapezius work or something like that.
That's getting way out there, but yeah, we do.
We do. So I mean, just you got to look at things in terms of, what am I trying to train? What am I training? What are my goals? And then how can I make a workout routine for the day, for the week, for the month, 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever your program is, or even, again, like I said, just for this one workout, how do I make an exercise routine fit my goal? And the way I do it whenever I'm training alone, I say, what am I working on? What do I like to do? And will it fit into what I'm trying to work on at this point? My upper pecs, my lower lats, my hamstrings, things like that are things that I'm trying to really focus on. And, I just don't go around and do hyperextensions and good mornings all day for my hamstrings. I mean, there's other things you add. There's other angles you add. There's other intensities and things that you use that one time, which if it's good, then maybe you do it next time. But keep it changing, right?
I think to an extent, yeah, for sure. Another tie into this with people trying to make progress and over the long term would be, we get asked a lot, frequency.
Sure.
How many times a week or a month or
people
how
are
often
shocked,
should I work out or each body part?
When I tell them, and I'm sure when you tell them how much training.
Well, yeah, I really believe that, I found through my own course training over years and years and years that about 3 times a week, if you're doing high-intensity training, is about right. So that basically means, like, when we train every major muscle group every 9 days.
Right.
Every 9 days. And so we have a 4-day split that takes 9 days to complete.
Right. And
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right. And for the people that are out there that are trying to figure that out mathematically, we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, weekend off, and then we'll go Monday again, but that is that fourth body part or that fourth workout. And then our cycle starts back over again Wednesday. So it's always starting a little bit later in the week.
So Monday is not always chest.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of 4 workouts.
One of 4 workouts.
Move on down the line each week. But
yep.
So once a week, actually, one particular body part for us never gets trained.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the thing is again, if you're somebody that feels that they have to be in twice a week for the same body part, and it starts Monday and it stops Saturday for you, then this type of thought process is going to take some coaxing and some time and some thought.
Well, and again, but what's the point of it? What's the benefit of it?
Exactly, and I think that's what you got to keep in mind.
There's more than one. I mean, one huge thing that a lot of people don't think about, and really I haven't until recently, is if you're only training 3 times a week, that's a lot less stress on your joints just long term. Long term being 5, 10, 15, 20 years of working out. You're going to get more longevity because you're not in the gym pounding away all the time. More longevity.
Sure.
Consistency is the key to making progress. It's not it's not just getting as much in during a week as you can and hoping for the best. I mean, really, it's consistency over time is what brings out changes.
Well, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I could talk about these. Once I get, this is not scripted. We don't have a piece of paper here. These things go where they go. But when you're training with a high enough level of intensity to stimulate muscle growth, especially when you're bigger and stronger from training years and years and years,
you're using hundreds of pounds.
It takes a lot longer to recover.
It does.
And I remember, I'll give you one little story before you kick me off the air here. But I remember listening to Dorian Yates talk about this, years ago, and he said, when you first go in the gym, I think he gave the example of doing squat. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can do 10 reps of 100 pounds, and that really taxes you, and that's enough to stimulate growth because, well, you're new to it, and you weigh 110 pounds yourself, and and your body can recover from that fairly quickly. Your central nervous system and everything, and the muscle. Look, a day or two later, you could probably go in there, and you really are recovered. Mm-hmm. But his example was, what happens if you've been training for 10 years? And in order to stimulate the same response, muscle growth, you now have to use 500 pounds and do 10 repetitions on a squat.
Right.
Your body, your central nervous system cannot actually, it doesn't really get any better at recovering from that kind of a stress. From day 1 versus, year 10. It's going to take 7, 8, 9, 10 days to recover from that, depending on your eating, your sleeping, your individual recovery genetics, your age, a lot of things.
Sure.
But it's not going to be a day later.
Sure. Well, and I think that's one thing that you nailed, or that I didn't mean to cut you off or anything, but that's one thing that you hit on that I think people would like to should pay special attention to, is that you mentioned the central nervous system. Because your muscles aren't sore, doesn't mean you're ready to go. Right. And I think that's part of that recovery process that you're talking about.
You can kind of start to get some feedback through your emotional or your level of excitement, so to speak, before you train. Mm-hmm. And this is how I figured this out myself over the years. And this isn't in some textbook somewhere, scientific. We could be completely wrong. I want to make that clear. This is just what I have. Essentially, over the years, I went from 6 days a week to 5 days a week to 4 days a week to 3 days a week of training. Mm-hmm. And I found, for example, when I was training 4 days a week, I would train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, the weekend off. And it was a pretty good routine. I made a lot of progress with it. Mm-hmm. But I started noticing, and I never knew why Monday I was ready to go emotionally. It was like, it's Monday, you're kind of pumped up, you're kind of excited, you're ready to go. Tuesday was pretty much the same. Yeah. Wednesday, I was kind of ready for that day off. Mm-hmm. Thursday, I was kind of, I guess we're going to go back in for another one. Yeah. And Friday, I would have just assumed being a lazy boy and take a nap before I went to train. Yeah, but hear me out, though.
I know what you mean.
It didn't really mean that I didn't have that good of a workout once I got started, and so that's why I continued to do it. I mean, I kind of get myself going because I was motivated. Right. But looking back, I think that lack of kind of excitement, or that, and a lot of people might think you're excited to work out when you really like to do it. Yeah, you're kind of, you look forward to it. Sure. Not looking forward to that particular workout, I think, is your body giving you some feedback that it's not completely recovered. Yeah, I think so. And most people ignore those signs, and I did, and say, well, you got to be macho. My buddies are going to be there. I've got a contest coming up. Mm-hmm. Whatever it may be, you're going to go through with the workout. Yeah. But you've got to change your mindset if you want to make progress long term. It has to be what is best to get me where I want to go. Right. Whether I want to admit it or not,
Right.
Maybe I don't need to do bench press 3 times a week. Maybe I don't need to do this, and maybe I need to do something different.
Sure. Well, yeah. So right at this point now, if you're lifting or exercising or doing cardio for the team, no days off, hashtag no days off, then that's it's something. And I'm the same way as you. I think that's something that you should probably kind of think and see really how you feel. I mean, you see a lot of memes that talk about I'm tired, I'm sick, I worked, I'm this, I'm that, I'm just as kind of a sob story, but I still made it to the gym type posts I see on social media all the time, and I'm like, there's a point in time where, again, your central nervous system is telling you something that you got to kind of listen to.
Well, yeah, because there's a fine line, right?
Sure.
You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to listen to feedback for probably months or years to really make a really good determination.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to it than just... But essentially what I'm saying is this. I mean, don't use I'm tired as an excuse if you're just throwing it out there just to get out of going to your workout. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you are really training at a high level of intensity and you know when you're lying to yourself or when you need a day off.
Yeah. Sure.
You're the only one who knows that, though. That's the thing.
Right.
I don't know when you come in if
and
you
everybody's
should be there
different.
or not, but
Everybody's different, and that's the thing. We kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent there.
Did we?
Yeah. Listen.
Well, no, we're talking about frequency and training.
I guess that goes into frequency, sequencing
frequency.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we got about 3.5 minutes left. Do you want to not get into something and have a part 2? Because we could probably keep going until probably 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, I know we could. We can continue down this, I think, on a part 2. Do you have anything you want to finish with? Any other questions that anybody came up with or sent in, or is anything got on your chest you want to get off?
Well, let me tell you something. No, and honestly, if I can add something, this past 3 weeks or so, I've been working quite a bit. I've got an hour commute to work every day, and I've been looking at getting my vehicle situation in alignment because I've been trying to get rid of a couple vehicles and add a couple vehicles because of my work situation, really. And I got to tell you, there's times where I won't get back from the dealership until 8 o'clock at night, and I got to be up at 4 a.m. to go to work, because I have an hour commute. And so I'm eating. It's 9 o'clock by the time I'm done eating, and I think to myself, should I train? And I say, yes, you should. But I don't, because I know that part of my body needing to heal from just that stress of the day, I need to get a good night's sleep.
Right.
So then I try to get some sleep. So again, I'm somebody that's been going through this same thing over the last 2-3 weeks, just because, since the beginning of April, I guess, really. But that's the thing is that, my body's telling me that after that day, I'm wiped. Working all day, commuting 2 hours a day, and then standing and walking around and test driving vehicles for another couple of hours after work it's not a fun time. So I've actually only been in the gym once or twice a week since the beginning of April, and I've noticed a difference, but I'm not. And I know a lot of people would be going crazy right now.
Shrink.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Listen, I could stand to shrink a little bit, okay? So my point is that take it from me.
It can be a stress from just not the workout. It
Exactly.
can be from work or your family life or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
So yeah, and it makes me feel guilty that I'm not training at this point. But we're going to have a good leg day today, so it makes me feel guilty I'm not training.
Legs today?
Oh, did I not tell you?
I think I had a call. I think I have to rearrange my sock drawer at 11:30. So.
Well, listen. I guess I'll be doing legs by myself, bro. No days off.
All
right. So, listen, we'll hit you guys in a couple, about 10 days with another show, and it's going to be part 2 to this show, and hopefully we will
send in some questions if you have them.
Yeah, we might have unlocked more questions than answered anything. So if you're listening, then again, make sure you send us that email to
PinnacleFitness@hotmail.com
or the Facebook page for Pinnacle Fitness 24/7, or you can just listen live. Pay attention to the notifications on Facebook. Listen to us live and ask your questions on the Spreaker app.
And we have the past episodes that they can listen to if they visit the website. There's a Spreaker website or whatever.
Yep, the Spreaker website. They can listen to the past episodes. There's quite a few of them in there too. So that's it for us at Reaching the Pinnacle this week.